empty cup. Just crack a smile and fill it up. Fill it up.
Welcome to After the Final Pour, brought to you by the Malting Hour. I am one of your hosts, Tony Golick, joined always with
Brandon Winninger.
And to my left,
sometimes Matthew.
That's your new name now, sometimes Matthew.
We let him come back.
I got invited back, guys.
We brought him back for another week. Ugh, he's lucky it's the same night we're recording this because it's After the Final Pour. So how do you top spring beers? Well, you go and have an imperial stout with coffee, cacao nibs, vanilla bean, chili peppers, caramel sauce, and toffee back from 2017. That's right, we're drinking Prairie Artisan Ale's Birthday Bomb. It is a stout. It is 12% ABV. Brandon acquired a whole bunch of random old beers, and, well, this is the one we decided to try.
Yep. Shout out to Jeremy for providing these for us.
Jeremy spoken.
I think he's now following us
today.
But yeah, so like I said, we have a giveaway group in the neighborhood, and I believe the story was he had an allotment of beers that he purchased off somebody and realized that that's a whole lot of beer, and he kept what he wanted, and actually was nice enough to let me come in like right into his entryway and pick and choose a whole stack of beers and gave me a bag to take with it. So yeah, we're diving into one of them tonight.
It's fantastic. Matthew, what do you think about this beer?
I mean, the chili's still holding up.
I am actually surprised that I thought for sure there wasn't going to be any chili. It's not like burning, but there's a little heat there.
Yeah, it's good flavor. I mean, I'm surprised that this is one of the beers that he just lets you grab, because 2017 Birthday Bomb, this is what everyone was trying to grab back then.
Yeah, and the coffee on it too is not. I don't feel like it's gone. Like it's
there's no.
There's still some subtle coffee notes, but it's not gone green like some coffee beers have done in the past that we've had on the show. But it's still a solid beer.
What I really love about some of the barrel-aged stouts is, for me, they're very much capsules of the time of brewing, because even at 12%, you can kind of tell from the viscosity and the flavors what era they're brewing in.
I'm about to blow your mind. It's not a barrel-aged beer.
Touche.
But I get what you're saying.
Nowadays, a lot of times you can't tell the difference between barrel-aged beer and not because of all the adjuncts.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, when
so old it tastes barrel-aged.
when I said, oh, that's the one I wanted to do, and then I flipped the coin and landed on, I was like, ooh, fine, a barrel-aged beer. And then I was looking, I'm like, ooh, it's not a barrel-aged beer. It's just a big stout. And actually, for it really being 12%, I know saying only 12%, for being like 12%, having all those adjuncts and it being, where are we at now? 7 years old?
Yeah.
7-year-old beer, basically. Because this is a summer stout for them. This is impressive. At first, I will say this. My first sip, I was like, I don't know what's going on here. It didn't taste bad, but it did taste a little older. I don't know if maybe a little oxidized in there.
At 7 years, if it's not oxidized,
that's impressive. But swishing it around in my cup, shaking some of that off, and then I was like, I want to try and take a big gulp of this and see what I can get. And I can still get some vanilla. I mean, there's chocolate in there. I do get some vanilla. Caramel sauce, I don't get caramel. I think that fell off. Caramel and toffee, that is, and maybe some toffee. And toffee's just burnt sugar, so it's hard to pinpoint in a beer like this with all the other adjuncts, especially in a stout that's roasty like this.
Yeah, the chocolate and the toffee would be definitely hard to pinpoint. You're right. I don't get any of the caramel. Vanilla, like, besides just being a little bit sweet, I don't really get vanilla, but as a whole, for a 7-year-old stout,
aroma wise is good too. Like my first like sniff I took of it, I'm like, oh, I don't know, and then swirling it around and going back in there, it smells really good. Like, I'm getting a lot of the cocoa.
Yeah, and I'm getting like a hint of the booze. Like, there's some booziness coming through a little bit for me. Not like barrel aged booziness, but you could tell it's on the hotter side.
And seriously, like, switching it around and taking more sips of it, it's kind of getting better.
Yeah.
Also, 12% is probably helping too.
I wish I had more.
Oh, why did we open that now? We should have saved it for till 2027.
Whoa.
10-year beer.
No.
Good call. Yeah, this is good. And you know what? Coming off of those spring beers, it's a nice little switch up. You know, I think we didn't destroy our palates to. I think it was probably the right beers to choose, or this was the right beer to choose.
After doing all those lighter beers.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, whatever the Norwegian beers was, it Norwegian beer?
Sweden. Same area.
Close enough. Geography, who needs it? That one does look good. I'm looking, Matthew. We'll make sure to save that one to have with you.
Matthew liked the artwork.
Yes, the label.
Just a giant smiley face.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was a homebrew.
No, I mean it presents itself as one, but there was a label on the back.
Weird label.
Said it was imported into Brooklyn.
Yes, because no one has printers.
Shut up, Matthew.
See, now you understand why I've got a problem with Matthew and why he might not ever be back on this show.
This is why I should stop drinking.
I just get so mad at these guys. All right, Brandon, how many birthday bombs are you giving this?
Ooh, bombs. I'm
Now,
going
basing it off of it being a 2017 stout that we're drinking 7 years later.
dude, for what it is, I'm going 4.25.
Wow. All right. Cool. I think it has a lot to do with how well it held up.
Yeah, no, 100%.
No.
And I mean, in its prime, this was a solid beer, and I think I've had it in the past and probably gave it.
I'm pretty sure I've had
4.5 or
birthday bomb
more.
before too.
Yeah.
I feel like it was one of the random ones that I would grab from bottles and cans of beer on the wall that they had, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna grab
Yeah,
this.
if you could. Back in the time, this was one of those beers that like you would not see on a shelf.
What-
It was single 12-ounce bottles that people just...
I remember, and I think I remember the first time I got a bunch of prairie stuff. I was in Oklahoma for work. Like I literally had just started this job, and we were doing something with like the state government, and then like they were supposed to have 2 days of training, and they're like, oh no, we're good. After the first day, so my boss was like, I booked a flight, I'm leaving, and I was like, oh, okay, see you later. She's like, you can stay if you want, and I was like, no, I'll go, but I'll book later in the day. So I spent like the next day, instead of leaving right away, I kind of went walking around, and I found a liquor store, and they had a shit ton of prairie stuff there, and I was like, what? And I grabbed a bunch of bottles, and I literally came back with like prairie bomb, like birthday bomb, like all of the shit.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first time I had it. I probably took one back to my hotel room, and I was like, crack, let's try it out.
You did crack? You did crack in your hotel room?
I did crack in my hotel room.
Good, man. I mean, I'm glad you're off that shit, but I'm glad like you gave your chance. Like, you know what? I'm here one night. I got all
Who
these
the fuck
beers.
said I was off it? You son of a bitch.
sorry for assuming.
God,
Makes
Tony.
an ass out of you.
Shit,
and
yeah,
me.
fuck. Guess
Stop
I'm not.
labeling me.
I guess I'm not coming back next week. It's now Matthew and Brandon.
I mean, given the situation, Brandon might not be my best friend.
The crack's starting to hit hard. Matthew, what are you
What
giving
you're
this?
talking about?
What are you giving this beer?
This bombastic brew.
This beer.
I would say a 4-1, 4-2. Yeah, I quite enjoy it. It actually definitely, this takes me back to the time frame where it came out, where I think this is like right on that precipice of just starting to get that thicker, sweeter, bigger body, those adjuncts. But
That's what I'm trying to do my whole life.
Get a thicker, bigger body.
Now I gotta lose weight.
just trying to build that ass.
It never worked. Everything else got bigger but my butt.
You can see him, his pants don't even stay
No
on. His
ass.
pants just fall off him.
Buying new belts all the time.
I think you should go to suspenders.
I do. Suspenders work. Suspenders work for me. And they're kind of cool. Rainbow suspenders. I'll just wear those. That's
There you go.
fantastic.
See you
So
later.
4-1, 4-2?
What about you?
Yeah, I'm giving it a solid 4. Solid 4. It's really good. I'm surprised how well it's hung up. How well it's held up 7 years later without it being a barrel aged beer. Having this barrel aged, oh boy, that would have been the bee's knees, as the kids say these days.
Yeah, I do think like a little bit of that oak to help give it a little bit more of that vanilla.
Yeah.
That'd be spectacular.
Having a little bit of that like bourbon booziness in the background too would also be quite nice. What we should have done was just poured a shot into this beer, because that'd be real responsible. No, I don't want any more of that. Thank you very much. Matthew, thank you again for joining us for another week. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, man. We'll like I said, we'll have you back, man.
Reassess the situation.
Thanks for being my life coach. Brandon, I love you, buddy.
Love you too, man.
And we'll see everybody next week.
Bye.
This has been The Malting Hour. Be sure to follow us on all social media by searching The Malting Hour and at themaltinghour.com. You can also follow us individually on social media. Brandon can be found on Instagram as BMDub81, on Twitter, BDub81, and on Untapped as BDubDrinksBeer. Tony can be found on Instagram and Untapped under Asa Phelps Chicago, on Twitter, The Asa Phelps Chicago. Clark can be found as Clarkowski on all three. Dan can be found on Instagram as hip__hops and hip hops on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like, and rate the show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Until next time, cheers from all of us at The Malting Hour.